Today in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you 7 non-phone work-at-home jobs. In fact, some of the jobs that I will mention in this video can pay you the upwards of $20 an hour. So given the whole current economic situation due to this pandemic, if you're looking for some work, but you're a shy person, make sure you watch the rest of this video so you know all of the opportunities. What's up, winners? My name is Nam, so here I talk all things personal finance. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. So let's jump right into it. We all might have heard that working at home used to be a luxury, but it's becoming a reality for many people right now. Even though the unemployment rates are starting to go down, for many individuals who were temporarily out of work in the first place, they are now permanently unemployed. When you think about work-at-home jobs, you probably think to yourself that you're gonna be on the phone all day long. Like myself, I hate being on the phone sometimes, and I'd rather do online chat just to reduce that human interaction. Introverted, I know. All of the jobs that will be discussed in today's video can range anywhere from side hustles all the way up to full-time work. Some may require some experience, but the majority of them do not require any at all. So let's kick things off with job number 1, academic test scorer. So this is exactly what it sounds like you'll be doing. You're just gonna be scoring students' tests and essays. This is gonna be one of the jobs on the list that will require some sort of experience. Based off of my research, the majority of companies that are hiring test scorers, they want teachers or part-time teachers with a minimum of a bachelor's. Also, with this type of online work, you usually would have to reside in the state of where you're gonna be doing this. For instance, if you're gonna be scoring a test based off California standardized tests, then you would have to be a California resident and have teaching credentials in California. So now let's talk about what you're gonna be doing exactly on a day-to-day basis. The majority of the jobs that I did find, they were for part-time work. So you would need a location where you can work safely, such as from an office or your room, and it's not recommended to work in a public area such as coffee shops or internet cafes. You also gotta have your own computer, and you also gotta have a reliable internet connection. Another thing to keep in mind is that scoring sessions are usually between Mondays and Fridays. But depending on the company, they may require you to work on the weekends as well. So now let's talk about what people want to know. How much can you actually get paid? Depending on where the scoring job is located, you can get paid anywhere between $15 to $20 an hour. So here are a few companies where you can find test score positions: Measurement Incorporated, Pearson's Education, and Educational Testing Service. So now let's move on to job number 2, Courthouse Researcher. So in a nutshell, what a courthouse researcher does will require you to go to your local courthouse and research information. This could be researching anything from criminal records to deeds. Based off of my research, a lot of the courthouse researcher positions that are available are gonna be independent contract work, meaning that you will not get paid any benefits or retirement plans. You will just get paid for the work that you just do. You also do not need to have any research experience. But for many people who know how to look at court documents, such as paralegals, title examiners, or anyone who works at a local courthouse, that do have some sort of advantage since they are familiar with those type of documents. But even if you don't have any background in law or court documents, you should be able to fulfill this position as well. So here are a few basic things that you need to become a courthouse researcher. Like with any work-at-home job, you're gonna need access to the internet, a laptop, and some knowledge using Excel or Google spreadsheets. And most importantly, you need to have reliable transportation that you can go to courthouses. Even though this is a work-from-home job, this does not necessarily mean that you're just gonna be work from home, because you need to go outside and do some field work. So what exactly does this job pay? After researching a few different websites, the amount of what you can get paid really depends on how fast you can type and collect the data. On one website, it says that beginning researchers can average between $12 to $14 an hour. After a few weeks of experience, you can get an average between $18 to $20 an hour, or even more. So here are a few websites and companies that hire public knowledge researchers or courthouse researchers: publicknowledgeinc.com, courthousecarriers.com, abccheck.com. Now this moves me on to job number 3, ESL Teaching. But now, you said that these are non-phone work-at-home jobs, but I don't want to talk to anyone. Alright guys, so in any type of job, you're gonna have to talk to at least someone. The main concept of this video is to try to avoid jobs that are call center type work, such as customer service or telemarketing. So instead of talking to someone on the phone, you're just gonna be teaching kids English via webcam. Unfortunately, in this type of position, you gotta make yourself camera ready. Based off many websites, the only qualification that you will need is just to be fluent in English. But if you do have any sort of degree or educational background, it surely does help. Another question that many people may have is, do they have to be bilingual? No, you do not need to know multiple languages, but it does help if you know Mandarin or Cantonese. But all you have to be is a native English speaker. If you did want to pick up an ESL teaching role, The positions are pretty flexible. You have the option to pick your schedule for certain days of the week, but you usually have to put in your schedule a few weeks to a month in advance. Since you will be teaching kids overseas, mostly in China, you also have to build your schedule around their hours. So for example, if it is 4 p.m. in California, it's going to be 7 a.m. the next day in Beijing, China. So in most cases, you're probably just going to be working late afternoon just to make up that time difference. So for as what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis, most companies, they will give you class assignments and assign you your own students. So you will not have to figure any of this out for yourself. So now let's talk about how much you can actually get paid. For each company, they have their own rates, but I'll just give you an example. If you were going to work for a VIP kid, the base pay rate is between $7 and $9 per class. Since each class is 25 minutes each, you will earn an equivalent of $14 to $18 an hour. Also, if you have teaching credentials or teach more classes, then you can earn more money. Here are a few websites and companies that hire ESL teachers: Cambly, GoFluent, VIP Kid, and Lingodo. So now let's move on to job number 4, mystery shopping. So for mystery shopping, I really cannot label this as a job because it's kind of more like a side hustle where you can earn some extra play money. It is possible to earn anywhere between $500 to $800 a month if you sign up for several companies at the same time. It's probably best to try a few companies first to see how you like it, then add a few more companies depending on how much time you actually have. A lot of the positions that are available for mystery shopping is a little bit mysterious. All you really would have to do is just sign up, and you would just have to wait a little bit until you get contacted for the position. Honestly, I would not expect to get hired quickly for this type of work because they probably have a long quota of mystery shoppers who want to do this. So for the job description in a nutshell, you're going to require to go to different stores, and you would have to give your insight on how the store is presented, laid out, and other types of information that would be useful to business owners so they can convert better sales. Depending on the company that you do apply for, they may have different types of requirements that they want you to do. So for instance, one company called Clear Evaluations will require you to have some private video surveillance equipment so you can better verify customer interactions and overall how their employees are performing. If you guys ever seen the show Undercover Boss, this is what I'm pretty much picturing. That is probably an over-exaggeration, but who knows? The majority of the time, all you would have to do is rate your experience, inform the agency of what you bought, and the pros and cons of the store. So now let's talk about the pay. As I said earlier, you can earn anywhere between $500 to $800 a month. So based off my research, some companies will write you a check on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. But as a full-time or part-time job, this may not be enough, but as a side hustle, this is something that can be very possible. Moving on to job number 5. Evaluator. As an evaluator, there are a bunch of different roles. You can be a search engine evaluator to a social media assessor. From what I found after looking at multiple job postings, this is going to be contract-based work, meaning that these will be temporary positions that can last anywhere between months all the way up to a year. So let me give you an example of what a social media evaluator actually does. You would evaluate the relevancy and accuracy of ads and review other content on personal social media accounts. Basically, you just got to make sure that these ads are targeting the correct demographic to make sure that these ads are working properly. So the work schedule for this type of work is part-time and self-directed of when you can work. But at the bare minimum, you have to work at least 1 hour per day, up to 5 days a week, usually during business hours such as Monday to Friday. To become a search engine or a social media evaluator, there's really no experience required for this type of role. You just gotta have some experience with the iPhone or Android smartphone use, how social media works, fluent in English, and be living in the country of where you actually are going to be doing this work. So now let's talk about the pay. Each project will have different rates, but from what I found, they pay anywhere between $12 to $15 an hour. Here are some companies that offer evaluator positions: Appen, Linebridge, and Sykes. Now let's move on to job number 6, transcription. There can be different type of names for this type of title. It could be documentation specialist or transcriber. So for this type of job, there are many positions out there ranging from side gigs all the way up to full-time work. You can either do subtitles for videos on YouTube, you can transcribe audio into text, or you can do medical transcription. Whatever role that you want to specialize in, across all boards, they're going to be very similar. You got to have excellent hearing skills, and you got to be able to type fast enough to have a quick turnaround. Also, if you are a bilingual speaker, you may have better chances of picking up accents or transcribing them into different languages. For instance, if you were to get into medical transcribing, then it would be great if you'd be able to pick up multiple accents, since there are plenty of doctors with various backgrounds. Depending on the company or the time that you have available for transcribing, it really dictates on how much you can actually get paid. For instance, if you're just gonna work every now and then, a popular transcribing website is called Rev. The average pay is around $150 per month. Well, this is hardly anything special, but from what I found, the majority of places, they average around $10 an hour. Here are some common companies that hire transcribers: Rev, Scribby, GoTranscript, SpeakRight, and patient first. Now let's move on to job number 7, writing. As a writer, this is going to be more of a freelance position because on a lot of websites, they will require you to work with different types of businesses, so you can set your own prices on how much your work can cost. So since this is writing work, you technically do not need to have any formal education, but if you have a big enough portfolio, this would help you to get more work and you can actually charge more for your writing. Depending on how much you can charge for your work, you can make as much as $1,000 per week as a freelance writer. But again, this really depends on your portfolio and how much businesses are willing to pay for your work. But if you are an individual who's just getting their feet wet with writing, I wouldn't expect to get paid this much, but just to give you guys an idea, a 400-word blog post can pay anywhere between $25 to $45. So here are some popular freelance writing companies that you can apply for: Constant Content, Crowd Content, and Scripted. Now I want to turn it over to you. What jobs from today's video do you want to apply for first? Are you going to try out becoming Courthouse Researcher or sneak around becoming an undercover mystery shopper? Let me know now in the comments below. Alright winners, if you guys haven't already, make sure you give this video a like because that really helps support the channel. I'll see you guys in my next videos.